on. Voice of the Community ad hoc. Harry.
Thank you. I'm going to make this real easy. David Wilkins printed up a packet for you. I'll let you go over it. What I'm going to have done is Nicole is going to go over what happened in the slideshow presentation to explain what we are and how we are doing it, taking care of business. And then the other ad hoc was from Jonathan in the homeless. Third, I'm going to have John Semitic go ahead and talk about outreach for future, events and whatnot. And then I'll wrap it up with a few questions that I have to clarify. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay, and you want me to cover the overview? Or
yes,
okay,
overview
great.
And what you did.
Okay, so
You got 15 minutes, including Q&A.
Thank you. So, folks, can you give you your packet of information? All of the information is here, and I'm going to abbreviate it because there's so little time. So we did the very first pilot of an idea that Dee Berrigan had a long time ago, which was to do a roadshow. And the pilot was, in this case, to introduce the Neighborhoods Commission, to talk about homelessness, and to talk about the budget. Those were the topics that we chose that would be the most exciting and most interesting and most on point in terms of where we are in time related to the budget as well. We had this event last Monday night. We had about 30 people attend at the Martin Luther King Library, very highly rated. We had surveys that Commissioner Wilkins prepared, and in every category it scored about an 8 or over, so it was really well received. We had the mayor's office there, we had a handful of neighborhoods commissioners, we had SJSU faculty, and we also had Ray Branson from the city of San Jose, who partnered with Jonathan. We had some nice critique, which you can review, the details from the information that Commissioner Wilkins prepared, and then some excellent questions that the folks who attended, and you can read those in the packet. One of the feedback about what didn't work was that we needed a different time, and there wasn't enough time for Q&A. And I think we all, especially given tonight, we always love to talk to folks who are here and ask questions. Commissioner Perry will talk about the next steps, so we'll skip into the information that we covered in the roadshow and the intent of that information. So the part that I covered was an overview, a slide deck that I believe sourced from Commissioner Holstead, and Commissioner Fleming cleaned it up. I'm not sure the order. But it could serve, assuming we move forward with this idea in some form, could serve as a template or a kit for each commissioner to use when he or she hosts a roadshow in his or her area. And it gives very clear, very professional, accurate information about the charter, the duties, the qualifications to be a commissioner, what's involved in terms of meetings and attendance, who the actual commissioners are, and what the ad hoc committees are. So it was a complete slide deck. What I spent time talking about when I presented this was mostly the ad hoc committees. That's what people care about. And people got to see that there are real people with real names and real responsibilities associated with projects on the areas that people think are important, and we're attending specifically to learn about that night. The biggest piece that came out of this for me was the slide that has this pyramid. And there were a lot of questions about, it was kind of a civics 101. People wanted to talk about the structure of the city. And someone asked about the structure of the city, and the thing I came up with about how the Neighborhoods Commission functions in this city, or could function, is that the city council's office and the mayor's office are the voice of the city. The city manager's office are the hands of the city, and the Neighborhoods Commission is the heart of the city. So when I talk to people now and they ask me, what's a Neighborhoods Commission? I say that exact thing, and they think, wow, that's an amazing city you live in. Or, wow, how big, or how many, So it gets people excited, and it contextualizes it, and it legitimizes it, I believe, where it belongs in the constellation of functions within our city. So the voice, the hands, and the heart. So that may be like one of the most helpful things, many of the helpful things that came up. To me, that's really helpful. Again, you can flip through. I think we could probably pare some of the information out of this deck, but that's the least of our concerns now. So I'll give the mic to Commissioner Fleming to cover the pieces he covered with homelessness.
Thank you. So I thought we had a really good time that night. I mean, it was well attended, it was well received. We had a lot of really interesting questions. Ray Bramson showed up. He's the director of homeless response team within the housing department. He and I kind of did a tag team presentation there. He took all the questions, which was great because I didn't have to answer a thing, which I appreciated from Ray. But we definitely got the message out, what the city's doing to help the homeless situation. And I think that was huge. We had a lot of people there from the sociology department, people who are interested in the homeless and housing the homeless there. So that was really nice to see. What did we speak about? We spoke about, gave statistics. We talked about how many homeless individuals there are. Talked about the programs available for them, type of vouchers, type of housing that they can get, where they can go, what the city's doing for them, what the neighborhood commission is doing on homelessness. And it was, if you look at the page 1, it says, homelessness, rate the presentation. We got an 8.1. Not everybody likes speaking about homelessness. It's very controversial, and to get something in the 8.1, 80%, that's pretty good. I consider that a big success. So we had a great night, and instead of boring you with all the details on homelessness, which I do almost every other commission meeting, I'll hand it over to Perry.
John, would you like to chime in for the...
Yeah, I'm just going to talk briefly about disseminating information. You can read this.
Make sure you turn your camera on.
It doesn't have a reverse pivot like my phone. We've talked about this before. Disseminating information is going to be very important for us going forward as far as the road shows. So what we've listed here is to disseminate information through a listserv, and we did collect email addresses for the people that attended there as a pilot. Ongoing outgo of information, talking about homelessness, illegal dumping, etc., all the things that we work on, would be done through different types of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and registration, like a lot of city events through Eventbrite. So we're asking that the Commission consider all these ways of getting information out, and that's going to be very important as we move forward.
Well, to wrap it up, when we come back in June for our final update, we'll be asking you guys for a vote on the type of templates that would be most effective and outreach material that we can get out to the public. Like I said, with Facebook, Twitter, what is it, Nextdoor? Mm-hmm. And all these things have a purpose, but it's up to us to come up with what function that we're going to use. And I want a variety, so you guys don't feel that you have to be limited to just one avenue. I did have a couple clarifications that I'd like to ask you guys for a second. When we were having the Neighborhoods Commission meeting, I was wondering about the Brown Act and how we can't have too many commissioners at a public meeting. Is that a problem?
I would have to defer that to you, attorney, so if you can put that in writing, I can respond to you.
Okay, I was just wondering, because it seemed like if we went to the State of the City address as commissioners, and we all being there didn't violate the Brown Act, I didn't understand why a public setting would be in that situation as well.
Lisa Tooley, City Manager's Office. Without getting into real specifics about it, what I can tell you is that the Brown Act has some exemptions in it. One of them is educational and kind of like group setting for you attending a seminar or something like that. So you're not there in your official capacity being a participant in a meeting so much as you are there listening and grading information. So, I don't want to speak specifically on this particular item, but just to know that there are exceptions, and that's kind of what needs to be sort of determined.
Yeah, so I think we're going to need a clarification, because this road show was just that. It was outgoing information, ingoing information from people that were there.
Okay, we'll take note of that, and then Nivea or Sofa will get that. And by the way, I'm in Zola's stead, she's out of town.
Okay, I got one more question. Now, if we were to have another Voice in the Community roadshow, and we had, let's just say, we wanted to invite a neighborhoods commission to speak on a certain topic, is that permissible?
There are noticing requirements, but I think, again, you need to specifically put those questions into an email so we can, respond to that. And in the interest of time, I would just encourage those type of questions to be emailed in.
Okay.
Just through the
Review
to
it.
the chair first? They can copy them, but it would be through us.
Okay.
Lindsay's got
Okay.
email.
Perfect, okay. All right, I'm open for questions and answers.
Very, very short, we got no time.
Succinct. Estrada, Wilkins, Carter.
I like what you all did, and I appreciate getting clarification. I will also submit a question because, well, you know what, let me do the second part first. I would like to have the next road show on March 22nd, that's in 2 weeks, at the next District 5 United meeting. District 5 United is the district-wide group in District 5 that strives to improve the quality of life in San Jose. And so to that end, I will reach out to those that participated in here and connect with you guys to see if we can make that happen. It would be a lot briefer. But to that end, then, maybe I'm just trying to make sure everything is covered. It's my understanding that the Neighborhood Commission has to authorize us to be able to do that. And so does the Neighborhood Commission authorize the next road show on March 22nd?
So Dave, can you include that, Perry, can you include that in the questions when you email?
Sure.
But specifically, I'm asking for permission today from the Neighborhood Commission, just to cover it.
We can't do
We
that.
can't do that, but Perry can include that
All right.
in his questions to the city. Commissioner Wilkins, thank you.
Just a real quick comment. We had more unintended excitement over what logo to use and what wording to use on whether we call it an ad hoc neighborhood commission. I mean, it was really frustrating. If we could have had that kind of energy directed to the topic, which was the homelessness, it would have been really great. But as a participant here, it was really, really frustrating to get that nitpicky and then to find out that we couldn't have some of the commissioners attend because of this Brown Act. I think we need to step back and understand the intent of the Brown Act was backroom deals and sitting in there, and what logo we use, I think was a real heavy distraction.
Those are topics, by the way, for the retreat.
Commissioner,
For the retreat.
Commissioner Carter, then Commissioner Navarro.
Yes, I was one of the commissioners that did attend as an observer, and I commend the ad hoc committee for the job that you did and the presentation that you presented. I was curious about the questions that were being asked from the neighbors that attended. Wanted to find out that, did you document those questions that were being?
They are in your packet.
They're in the packet?
Yes.
I was very curious about those.
With one clarification, we documented, the intent was they had the cue cards. They were to write that and then ask the questions and give me the cue cards. If they just asked the questions, we may have lost those.
Well, also, we do have a YouTube video that has everything recorded, so if you go back and listen to it, you'll hear the questions and the answers.
Okay, there were some questions that were asked that weren't completely answered by committee, and I understand why. Are you going to be responding back to those neighbors that asked those questions that didn't get a complete answer?
Just to the ones that are listed on the page that you got.
Okay.
Commissioner Navarro.
So I too was at the presentation, the roadshow. I just have a quick comment. You guys did a really good job. I just would recommend whether you have the next roadshow, whatever district, make sure it's parking friendly. especially if we want to make sure that people that are on fixed income can attend. They want to make sure that it's accessible to them and that they're able to actually find parking. And if there is going to be paid parking, I'm not sure if the city can, validate for them so that they can assist just like they did at other events that we have for the city. Just a good comment. Other than that, everything else was fine. I also attended. I was more of a listener. They did present us, but it was me and Jim were just in awe of the presentation. You guys did a great job.
Commissioner Martin?
So I love this idea. I think it's absolutely awesome. When we voted on this, back 6-7 months ago, my understanding was that we as a commission, all of us, were going to be going out into the community. And so I was really surprised when I got invited to this that I didn't actually really know about. And I wasn't really sure how to deal with it and how to handle it, so I actually asked, staff as to what we could and couldn't do. And we didn't have a clear understanding, so I'm going to have to say I can't attend it. And I think it's an awesome idea, but I got to be really clear, it's not what I thought we were doing when we signed up for this. I really believed that we as a commission, the whole commission, would be going out into the neighborhoods at different locations once or twice throughout the year. I did not believe that we'd be starting a Voice of the Community ad hoc group that was going out one-off from the Neighborhoods Commission.
Okay. Can I speak to that? Or?
Do we need to? Let's just leave it there as a comment. We got more to do here, and we're not allowed to go over it. So we'll have more time to talk about this whole thing. All done?